Hi, I'm budding researchers, and welcome to our episode of Research Bite Size. I'd like to begin by meeting you halfway. I know most of you have expressed their concerns regarding this subject, that it's hard, it's time consuming, that it's stressful. Well, I won't deny. Personally, I believe that research is a form of investment. You invest your skill, you invest your time, you invest your effort. And in doing these things, you now create new knowledge, and you now have a better perspective of social realities. Allow me to present an analogy that would highlight the connection between research and philosophy. Consider this image. What do you see? You might see a young lady or an old widow. Now consider this image. Are the candy canes parallel? To answer this question, we can draw two parallel lines. And here is the result. It shows that the candy canes are parallel. And here is the last picture. What do you see? A chalice, two old individuals, a lady outside a door, or drinking buddies. So what's the point of the optical illusion images? Just like in research, our social realities are being viewed or interpreted using different lenses. What might be good for you might not be good for others. What you perceive as effective might not be enough for others. These kinds of situations are essential in research, for one can understand further a situation on different perspectives, and this indicates a philosophical mindset. The best way to understand research is by viewing it not as a cookbook process. Instead, view it in the context of philosophy. In fact, I'd like to view that our current approach of conducting research is an evolved form of how ancient Greek philosophers argue about natural phenomena. Whether the earth is flat, or the sun revolves around the earth, or vice versa. In short, research is grounded in philosophy. Well, just a warning, using these words will kill your social life. Kidding aside. The following terms will be highlighted so you get the chance to understand and appreciate them more. With emphasis on ontology and epistemology. If this is your first time to encounter these words, well, no worries. They can be understood as you progress in your study. Imagine that you're reading a journal article. You find it quite vague to understand its details the first time you've read it. And you will not notice any explicit mention of ontology and epistemology in the paper. It's true that these terms are abstract. This is due to the fact that the subjects or our social realities may be too abstract to be studied. Most researchers don't write much about their underlying assumptions, but they usually leave clues in their paper so the reader would understand the ontological standpoint of the researcher. That is why, in reading a journal article, you should ask, where is the researcher coming from? What is the ontological standpoint of the researcher? So why study ontology and epistemology anyway? I'd like to put it this way. Simply, ontology and epistemology help us understand and appreciate research in a more sophisticated and all-encompassing ways. But what really is ontology? Ontology is the branch of philosophy that is interested in exploring questions of existence, being, and reality. It asks what the underlying components of reality are and what implications these concepts have on our place as humans living in a world where we attempt to understand. So questions like, who are we? What are we here for? They're considered to be ontological questions. But remember that these should not be the literal kind of research questions that you will include in your study. For research, ontology is found in the underlying assumptions about what can tell us about reality and how such an understanding influences the very way we perceive the world around us. Hence, our ontological claims or assumptions. According to Greeks, ontology is the starting point of all research. And this complements on the idea of Blakey that our ontological assumptions are concerned with what we believe constitutes social reality. And whether you like it or not, your research must deal with Philippine social reality. So how do we apply our ontological positions in Philippine social realities? Consider the images. What is the nature of the issue? What constitutes to the very existence of these events? You have your stand. We all have our own perceptions of these current events. Your ontological stand brings about the nature of the reality being studied. Being aware of your ontological stand is essential in structuring your research study. So, when everything has been said and done, ponder on this statement. Your ontological position shapes how you acquire knowledge and what knowledge you acquire. Agree or disagree? The choice is yours.